Very challenging. Very challenging. If I had known how challenging it was, and had not already committed to doing it, I probably would have passed on that project. So it was really, really emotional because you're narrating your own documentary. I've already lived it. I know exactly every color we're talking about, how cold or how hot, everything. I know everything about that scene that we paint with our words because I lived it, and some of those scenes were hard to relive. So it was really challenging. I've had really good feedback from those that have bought the audio book. They could tell that it meant a lot to me, and I think that was good. So it does. So I appreciate those that listen to the audio book, and I think it's going to be. Somebody told me it was the first audio book they ever bought, and they just were very, very happy. So maybe it will motivate them to buy other audio books and expand the horizon, so to speak.
And that's what you want. You want any kind of book, whether it's audio or a physical book, you want that to inspire people to pick up more because it's still reading might be fundamental. And everybody goes to the podcast route now, but reading is the way we get I think we get the deeper story still in the form of the book and putting all the work you have in. One of the things I think that stands out is obviously the foreword by Vince McMahon, and you and Vince having such a long relationship and having your ups and having your downs. What did it mean for you to have Vince write the foreword for the book?
Well, he was my first choice. So he was my overall number one draft pick. So I got what I wanted, and happy to say. But he was. Somebody asked me, said, "How hard was it to get Vince to do your forward? How'd you pull that off?" And I said, I sent him a text, and he responded and said he'd be proud to do it, and so he did, and. It was great. We have a lot of really cool, Stone Cold did the afterword, and we got contributions from The Rock and Coach Bob Stoops before he resigned at Oklahoma, and Billy Gibbons and ZZ Top, Art Cuban, the other guy I work for, the other billionaire I work for. So it's a fun thing, and I think that there's a lot of life lessons in this book that it's not. One thing I can tell you, it's not a wrestling book. It's not a wrestling book. It's not JR outlines his 10 favorite matches, right? JR, whatever. My 10 favorite wrestlers, or my 10 favorite matches, the 10 matches I hated the worst, or my best draft pick, or whatever. It's not that. It's about life, and it's about and my life is so intertwined with wrestling that almost anywhere in my journey, wrestling has embraced that aspect of my living being. So it's just a unique story, of my journey in a business that wasn't hiring. For me to get a job in wrestling, I finally figured it out. I got hired by Bill Watts at $125 a week to babysit Leroy McGurk by and large. And knowing that was a short-term gig at very, very best, I looked around and started figuring out other things that I wanted that I might be able to do so that I could stay in the wrestling business past what I thought would be a summer job. And that's how it all started, and I kept looking for jobs and areas that I could learn in, and so I could wear more than one hat. So I think this book, unlike a lot of the other great wrestling books that are written by wrestlers who talk about wrestling and their career in the ring and so forth and so on, I talk about the business of wrestling and how a civilian like me or like you guys could theoretically go on a similar journey. Why not? Somebody is. That's the way I look at it. Somebody is. So somebody's going to write the next New York Times bestseller, and I'm hoping it's us.